Hi, everybody. This is Alan Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor, and welcome to this BCI podcast number 107. This one is titled Even and Odd Stock Splits, Understanding Contract Adjustments. We're going to be using two real-life examples, one with Ball Corporation, which trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol BLL, and the other Heiko Corp, which also trades on the New York Stock Exchange, this one under the ticker symbol HEI. Now, when an X distribution date for a stock split occurs before the end of our option contracts, frequently we'll be looking at the status of our trades and wondering what the heck happened here. Things changed. It'll also make us concerned. Where do we stand in our positions? Are we positive? Are we negative? Are we losing a lot of money? Did we just get a windfall? And of course, that could result in panic and just general upset. So in this particular podcast, we're going to focus in on stock splits, both even and odd. I'll be doing reverse stock splits in another podcast. So let's get started with what are contract adjustments, and certainly stock splits fall under that category. Now, these are corporate events that result in changes in the terms of our option contracts. So we may have started with certain terms when we entered our trades, and during the course of the contract, well, things changed. So what are some of the corporate events that could cause these contract adjustments? Things like mergers and acquisitions, special one-time cash or otherwise dividends. Stock splits is what we'll be talking about in this podcast. 2-for-1 would be an example. And reverse stock splits, 1-for-2 would be an example. And once again, we'll be doing reverse stock splits at another BCI podcast. Now, by adjusting these contracts, the Options Clearing Corporation, or OCC, strives to make buyers and sellers of both calls and puts whole. So there are no winners or losers as a result of these contract adjustments. We are all made whole. So don't worry when you see our contracts adjusted as a result of a corporate event. You know, we're just back where we started before. Let's first talk about an even stock split. And that's where whole shares are issued for each share that is owned. An example, a simple example would be a 2-for-1 stock split. So what happens here, the number of contracts is doubled, multiplied by 2. The deliverables, how many per contract, is unchanged. There are 100 delivered, but the strike price is divided by 2. The multiplier, which is used to calculate the premium per share per contract, is not changed. We multiply the per share premium also by 100. And the option ticker symbol does not change. So those are the factors for an even stock split. Now let's have a look at a real life example with BLL Ball Corporation. And you could see on the left side of the screenshot, for those of you who are actually watching this podcast, we see the actual publication from the CBOE, which discusses this particular split. And what it tells us is that the X distribution date is May 17th, so that's where any of these contract adjustments will take place, on the X distribution date, not on the actual date when it occurs. And there's one additional contract on the X date that is delivered to us. So we have twice as many contracts at half the strike price. So for those of you watching, at the bottom of the screenshot, what it tells us is that the existing $40 strike price for BLL will become now a $20 strike price. But the number of contracts double, so once again, we are made whole. And that's a typical way that an even stock split will be handled by the Options Clearing Corporation. Now, let's get a little tricky here because this usually throws everybody off. What is an odd stock split? Well, that's where one whole and one fractional share are issued for each share owned. So it's not just a whole share, additional whole shares issued, it's a whole share plus fractional shares. Let's use for an example a 5-for-4 stock split where the number of contracts will actually remain the same. Okay, so they're not doubled as they were with the even stock split. The deliverables per contract is multiplied by 1.25, and the strike price is divided by 1.25. So we have per contract more shares delivered, and the strike price is actually going to be lower. Once again, since the factor is the same, we are made whole. The multiplier to calculate the premium is also adjusted to 1.25. The option symbol is also adjusted to reflect new contract terms. So you can see an odd stock split represents more changes than the even stock split, and that's why I said that it's more complicated. Now, a real life example, I'm using Heiko Corp, HEI, and those of you watching, you could see it, and those of you not, I will describe it. It says the ex-distribution date is April 19th. That's the date when these changes in our contracts will take place. And the example given is that the $70 strike price changes to a $56 strike price, and that's dividing 70 by 1.25. But remember now, the deliverables are multiplied by 1.25. So once again, we are made whole. Just a little more complicated because more aspects of our options contract are changes with these odd stock splits. But the bottom line here is take a deep breath, everybody. We don't lose, we don't win. We're just back to square one with different contract terms. So let's summarize. There is no one single formula for all contract adjustments, unfortunately. We actually have to go and look up, the OCC will give this information, what the contract adjustments were. So when you see all of a sudden the parameters of our contracts have changed, it's usually due to a corporate event that resulted in changes in the contract parameters. Now, they fall into certain categories. We had two of them in today's podcast, even and odd stock splits. There are more, but the two we looked at today are the even and odd stock splits. And it highlights the basic contract adjustments for both those two types of contract adjustments. Now, when these events occur, we must understand the terms of the adjustment so we can make the most appropriate investment decisions. Now, if you can't find it anyplace, call your broker. Now, they'll probably have to look it up because they don't know these things off the top of their head, but they'll look it up and explain to us what changed. Then we'll go, oh, yeah, I'm back to where I was before, no problem. And then you could make any decisions regarding exit strategies, closing your trades, or just letting them ride out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, I just want to point out to those of you who are looking to master all aspects of option selling strategies, and I do mean all, have a look at our BCI package, which is our best and most comprehensive educational product ever offered by the blue-collar investor. Consists of 6 online video courses with downloadable workbooks, 6 calculators developed by the blue-collar investor and therefore found nowhere else, specific for option strategies, 5 of our best-selling books in ebook format, and annual premium membership, which is 13 months of membership, which includes all of our stock screening services, plus a huge educational component and continuous and never-ending training videos. This is our best offer to you, and it's discounted by 25%. Now, the ongoing and never-ending training programs include the Ask Alan video library, where we dissect trades either from my portfolio or from members that shared with me. Blue Hour webinars, which are detailed instructional training videos on specific topics. And we do add one or more new training videos every single month. How do you find out more and purchase the BCI package? Go to our website, www.thebluecollarinvestor.com, and click on the link at the top that says BCI package. There's written information, and there's a video that I produced describing all the benefits of this, our best and most comprehensive investment product. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to and or watch this BCI podcast number 107, Even and Odd Stock Splits, Understanding Contract Adjustments. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this presentation, but most importantly, I hope it puts cash in your pockets. As always, this is Alan Ellman, the Blue Collar Investor. Take care, everybody.